I call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. on May 21st, 2025. The Board of Selectmen are recording and televised live on Northern Berkshire Community Television Channel 1303. If anyone in the audience is going to video, would you please announce yourself? All right, then let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first order of business is approval of minutes from May 7th, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes from Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, and approve as written.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
In favor?
Aye.
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 Usually there's some discussion.
Oh, is there, sorry.
That's
Any
okay.
discussion?
Just a note to just make sure that last names are consistent throughout. There's a few misspellings. But I'm okay to approve them as is. They're not major.
So do I have a vote?
Would you want those included in the motion, changing of
Just
the...
going forward, it's fine if they get.
All right.
You make a motion?
We got a
There is
motion,
one.
we got a
And a second.
second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? We have anybody in the audience for public comment? Just to know that we are going to go into a public hearing at 6:10 p.m., so if you do have something, it will have to be short. And please state your name.
Steve Dayak, 19 Temple Street, Adams, Mass. I'm here before the board again asking, in regards to 12 Harmony Street, what the board's pleasure is if they're willing to work with my new investor. He's pledging a $750,000 rehab of my building. And the town has stymied my agreements with the gentleman, and I'd like to know the board's pleasure publicly. Are you for someone investing in the town? Are you willing to work proactively to get that building and its infrastructure fixed up and help this sale further so that I can be relieved of this burden? John Duvall had said that there would be some workshop meetings and I would be invited to those. I have heard nothing. It took a court order for me to get information from Donna Season's office in regards to the work done on Peck's Brook. That should not happen. This is taxation without representation. I've been to this board, I've been to this town hall, and I've been to her office many, many times. She's here, she's welcome to speak. Radio silence. I'd like to know if you want to remain silent or if you want me to go back to my investor and say the town is friendly and are open to investments. And I think that would be good for the general public just to hear that from the board, that these are the way the boards in this town works. And that you're open to investments in this town to help with these dilapidated buildings, these old brick elephants. They need a lot of work, they need a lot of help. And without it, I as a local resident did the best I could with that building. And I got no help from the town hall, zero, nothing but roadblocks. Going forward, if the town doesn't work with this investor, I don't know where the town is going to be. They're going to have another brick elephant. So, can anybody on the board speak to this matter?
Point of order, I'll just point out that at our last public meeting, Chairman Duvall did mention there would be a June workshop in which we would be provided information in which the board could respond to and discuss. At this time, this is not on the agenda, and it is not anything that Mr. Data can ask the board to give an opinion one way or another, because it is not an agenda item. It is something that, as Mr. Duval told you, will be taken up at a June workshop.
I'm sorry to feel that way.
It's just the open meeting law doesn't allow us to deliberate. And unless it is an agenda item, we cannot address your question.
I've been here asking for it to be an agenda item then. And I'm disappointed, as again, representation, no representation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the board feels that way. I will still be there, I will still work. I'm not gonna give up on the property or not give up on my investors or stating out publicly how this board has treated me and the dilemma that we're in. Because that building, the investors have the most recent plans from Donna Seasons on the brook, but there is no avenue to move forward. There's no willingness for the town to apply for a grant and get that work done that needs to be done. Obviously, the Mass DOT and the town saw it necessary to do the study on that brook. So it's been coming for years. It's going to be a disaster if the rain washes that flood control chute out. And it will be it'll be a shame if I lose this investor. I don't know what other investors will come forward. Many of them have told me how they needed this work to be just a positive, just anything positive towards working on this flood control chute. So I'm very disappointed, but I will go back to my investor. His engineers have all the plans, and they are trying to crunch the numbers to make it work without the town. But without the town's blessing, it's going to be difficult, I think, for them to come forward. I will still work with them, even though you're not working with me. Thank you.
Anyone else for a public comment? All right, we'll close public comment, and we are going to open the public hearing. The first item on public hearing is for a public hearing on transfer of application of 223 Columbia Streets LLC's alcoholic license located at 223 Columbia Street, the 7-Eleven, from Muhammad Asif Abid to Muhammad Azim Ashfa. Do I hear anyone would like to come up and tell us what you're going to do?
So, Ms. Chair, a couple of things. One, we need to have a motion to go into public hearing.
I'm sorry?
And two, Mohammed Azim Ashfaq is the proposed manager. Mohammed Asfi
So I'm the
Abdid.
Asif, so I'm the owner and he's the manager.
Yes. So it's not transferring from one to the other. One is the stockholder and one is the proposed manager. One of each of the gentlemen that are
Yes.
present here
Yes.
are part of the new license.
I will apologize to people here and to the people that are listening at home. This is my first night of being vice chairman, where I had to take care of the meeting, and I thank Christine for keeping me on my toes here. So I make a motion that we open the public hearing.
So I'll make a motion to open public hearing on the transfer of application at 2023 Columbia Street.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Jordan, are you bringing up
I'm trying.
Attorney Allen?
I think she's waiting, she texted me too.
Yeah, I don't see her in this, though. Give me a second here.
That was subtle, Peter.
Just watch this cord, okay?
Mr. Ashfaq, did you want to,
He's the,
I'm sorry. Sorry. Did you want to contact your attorney and see if she's able to?
so I just,
Okay.
she's on the hold, that's what she said on the Zoom.
Okay,
I already get the link, I think, so she already online, so.
Just technology, I guess.
understood.
I can call her if you want.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I'm like,
If she can hear it, okay, good.
Hi there.
hello.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Okay.
All right. Oh, I can't hear you guys.
I don't think we spoke yet.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Well then, it's working. Okay. Thank you. Just let me know when we're up.
Do you want to do introductions?
Pardon?
Would you like some introductions so that you know who's sitting at the table? We are in public hearing.
That would be great. Thank you.
I am the Vice Chair, Ann Bartlett.
Christine Hoyt.
Jay Mezor.
Joe Novak, member?
Ken Walto, interim town administrator.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Jennifer Allen, attorney for 223 Columbia LLC. And I'd just like to thank you guys for letting me log into Zoom like this. And I know my clients are very appreciative as well.
Would you like to state your purpose? What you would like to do?
So one more.
We'd like to hear about, go
If
ahead.
you want, I could, I have a little explanation and speech if you'd like me to take
That would
it
be
first,
fine.
and then any
Thank you.
questions, I know they're there to help. My clients are there, they can introduce themselves as well. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves first?
Sure, I'm Muhammad Asif Abid.
Mohammed Azim Ashfaq.
So obviously they're here. Muhammad Abid is the 100% stockholder, and Mohammed Ashfaq is the proposed manager for the license. We're here today for the simple transfer of a beer and wine license for the package store for 7-Eleven, which is located at 223 Columbia Street. My client, Mr. Abid, was the winning bidder for that location and the accompanying license that comes with it. In the application, I had attached the escrow agreement, which is really the purchase and sale for this company, and that's what they send over, and the draft lease, which those are both contingent upon the approval of this license transfer. The store's layout and the operations will stay the same, including the hours, and in fact, mostly everything for the operation will stay the same. Mr. Abid has other convenience stores in Massachusetts and other states, and also owns one with a liquor license that has been operative for over 2 decades now. Mr. Ashfaq, the proposed manager, has been working for Mr. Abid in his stores for over 2 decades as well. They are both Massachusetts residents and U.S. citizens, and both of them are TIP certified. They have the necessary experience and qualifications to run this store. The other liquor license location that my client has also has no record of any violations. And they both look forward to taking over this 7-Eleven and providing excellent service at this new store and expanding into this town. And if you have any questions for us regarding this, we're happy. I know they're happy to answer anything.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions in support of this? Or does anyone have an opposition to the license? No? I will ask you where we go.
Sure, yeah. So it could be for the board to comment on or question. I did just want to make the board aware that there was an ad posting the transfer of the license. Thank you to Attorney Allen for helping to draft that and to work patiently with us as we got that in the Berkshire Eagle for May 9th, which did comply with today's public hearing requirements.
No problem.
Any questions from the rest of the board? And
Yes, I have a couple of questions. Am I correct in assuming that the whole business is being sold to these two gentlemen? The whole?
Correct.
Okay, so.
They will be taking over the store.
Okay, I believe 7-Eleven is a franchise, correct? And with, so can you tell me how that works? I mean, are they just getting the name 7-Eleven through the franchise?
So I can
I
ask,
will let him speak into the name.
Okay.
so how it works, so they'll be my landlord, so I'm leasing from them. So everything's gonna go in my name, so there's still gonna be gas supply to us, and we're gonna run the C-store section privately.
Okay.
So it's gonna move to 7-Eleven, it's probably gonna be Shell gas station or any other brand.
Okay.
So it's gonna be totally new business. But it's still gonna be my landlord, so we still work with them,
So,
because they own the land.
yeah, they own the land. So you're just buying the franchise name from them?
Yes, it's not a franchise anymore because it is a separate department from them, so I'm gonna be a dealer from them.
Okay.
So,
'Cause, if I'm not
so
mistaken,
franchise mean they partner with me on the new store, but now the dealer means I'm 100% responsible for inside store sales. And they partner with me the gas side.
okay, because there was some talk a while back that store was going to be closed. And, you know, which is a great thing, it's remained open. And so this
So-
will be a continuation.
Yes, so is how the franchise look, they run their numbers, if they look at, so
Right.
maybe profit and loss, and they decide to become as a dealer. So they give it to me as a franchise, so I bid on it, so I buy from them, so I'm gonna be stay open.
Okay, as far as the present employees, will they be given a chance to continue to have
They
their
have a first
job?
chance to be stay there, keep their jobs.
Okay. And now, I'm not sure, I stop in there once in a while. Now, are they prior already selling malt, beer and wine, or is this going to be something added to the building
It's
itself?
gonna be same as is it, so they have the beer and wine, I'm gonna keep same way. It's
Okay.
probably always addition to the store for the snacks and upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much same operation.
Okay.
Yes, they do already have the liquor, the beer and wine license, so we're just looking to transfer it from 7-Eleven Massachusetts Inc. to my client's corporation. So, but it is already in place, they've already had that.
Okay, and I was just wondering, are there any plans to expand the building?
This is something that we have to talk to landlord. When we go in, we don't know the situation, so if we have opportunity to do that, we can ask, we'll look
Right,
into
because
that.
I know the store layout, and there isn't really a lot of room for a good selection
Yes.
of beers and wines there. It's kind of, you know,
It's
small
small,
space
yes.
for, you know, if you wanna,
So we have
more
to check
beer
the-
and different brands of beer and, you know, specialty beers and wines, you know, the better the chances are. But as it stands now, I don't see that being available unless there is some
No,
build out of the store.
We have couple other sites, same size,
Yeah.
and we do have very good craft collection. It's depend, when franchise runs, so they depend on the manager. So when we run independently, so we just focus more because we depend on that. We try to bring our best there.
Okay, yeah, because, once again, when it comes to liquor in this town, there's a lot of, you know, proprietors of buildings that depend on liquor for, you know, a good portion of their sales and things, so it comes to a point where I feel there's a saturation point within a community, and so it's free enterprise, of course, so it will be up to you to make the deals that will allow people to want to go there, so.
I would love to give the people that, so it's good for, I mean, like, individually we have more focus, we have more energy and more time to spend.
Yeah.
Great franchise, but different way, so that's our goal to be success, so.
Well, yeah, well, I'm glad to see the store open, and I wish you well. I don't have any problem
Thank you.
with, the transfers.
You will absolutely see very clean property, better what it is right now.
Yeah, I
Right.
believe that.
And you will see the customer service and you will speak for you. I'm telling you, I work for a few liquor stores and I run them too.
Yeah, I understand that. I have no doubt in your abilities.
I know what you're saying, customer walks in, you
Yeah.
have this. So we need to organize the store inside first. Clean it out, organize it, and that's what you will see how much room is in there. We
Yeah.
already seen it, we already walked through it.
Yeah,
This company always will help you
yeah,
to lay out inside what is right now exist.
yeah,
So that's where we go from there.
I understand.
First you will see clean property, and
Yeah.
then we will talk what we're gonna sell you.
Yeah,
And you will be definitely stopping by on your regular stuff.
Yeah.
Not for beer.
yeah. I'm not a drinker.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that I knew.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that.
Okay, well, I have no doubt in your competency to do things.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do I hear any other comments from the board?
I've got nothing else to ask.
Then I'm going to close this portion of the public hearing, and we will vote on it in a few minutes.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the transfer of the application from 711 to 223 Columbia Street LLC.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. The next public hearing is on the FY 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program. And we will have Donna Season presenting.
The purpose of tonight's public hearing is to review the status of implementation of the town's fiscal year 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program. Tonight's hearing is the second public hearing required under the program. The first was held on September 1st, 2021, which was prior to the submission of the town's application for funding. We are coming to the end of the 21 CDBG program, wrapping up the remaining activities under fiscal year 21 grant. The town was awarded $800,000 in CDBG funds to undertake two activities. The first involved rehabilitation of up to 8 low to moderate income housing units, and the second was construction of a new public park at 1 Cook Street, the site of the former Hoosick Valley Coal and Grain. In your packets, there's a handout summarizing the funding allocations of the fiscal year 2021 grant. Funding amounts received by the town by category are listed in the first column, and then the amounts shown in the second column indicate what has been expended to date. The first activity is continuation of the Adams Housing Rehabilitation Program. The town received $240,000 in CDBG funds with a goal to rehab 8 units. Currently, there is $167,000 in funds remaining. However, another $64,000 has been committed to a 2-unit project, and that gets underway later this week. Another project is out to bid for the second time, given with completion of both of these projects, the remaining grant funds are expected to be spent out and the program will be closed. We will be shy of our anticipated unit goals for the 21 grant, but this is due primarily given the higher construction costs we experienced in the program. Department staff have experienced difficulties with bidding. Unfortunately, it's not unusual to have to bid a project 2 and sometimes 3 times in order to get bids that are more aligned with available funds. The other challenge is attracting qualified contractors. We have been working more closely with the town's building commissioner, and his ability to kind of talk up the program with area contractors has really helped a lot, as evidenced by the last bid opening, where we might only get 1 or 2 bids. This time we had 6 bids from area contractors, so that I think is a positive result. $56,633 was also awarded for program delivery. And as most of the board knows, program delivery is typically the staff costs and other administrative expenses needed to carry out, in this case, the housing rehab program during the grant period. The other grant activity was a construction project. It was to build the new public park on Cook Street at the site of the former Hoosick Valley Coal and Grain Building. We received $411,532 in grants directed toward this project. The design for the park project was actually funded under our fiscal year 2017 grant, and the site was acquired by the town through tax title back in 2015. The new park design incorporated remnant foundations of 2 structures that were previously demolished on the site. As you know, the park is adjacent to the Ashawiltacook and the Adams Branch rail line, and then it's bordered on the east by the Hoosick River. The features of the park include picnic facilities, sitting and play areas, and a fenced off-leash dog park. Landscaping includes new lawn areas, new trees, and a pollinator garden. Again, we had $40,149 was awarded and has been fully expended in program delivery for the park activity. This, again, was administrative funds needed to complete advertising and other public bidding costs and staffing for this grant activity. Finally, under the grant, there was $51,686 awarded for general administrative costs, which includes costs associated with grant reporting, office supplies, legal, as well as staffing costs. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have about the project, but we expect to close this out sometime during July.
I am going to ask to see if we...
Oh, we never did we?
No, we didn't.
Damn, I'm not repeating.
Would the board like to enter into the public hearing to go over this presentation by Donna Seasons?
I will make a motion to enter into public hearing on the fiscal 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
You were on a roll, Donna.
Yeah,
and I was
sorry.
like,
There's this person, she made this nice presentation.
I know.
Just ditto. No, I'm happy to answer any questions that the board has about the 21 grant.
Just, I'll enter into the public hearing, the official handout.
Yes.
That Donna just reviewed with us.
Thank you.
Yes, that project went over $50,000, is that correct? And we needed to take that out of one of our funds?
Yes, my understanding is the project ran into some difficulty with additional cleanup that was required, environmental cleanup. They found some additional contaminated soils, so the town had to scramble. We needed both the site assessment costs to evaluate what the extent of contamination was, and then, of course, to remove the contaminated soils.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And I was wondering, when is this park get open?
Well, that's something that the board should discuss at some appropriate point. I think maybe we're sometime soon approaching ice cream weather, and we could have kind of like a nice little celebration, community celebration to open the park.
Because it's really nice, I've been through it, but it's kind of like, why the wait? I
Right.
mean, it's been ready for at least,
Right.
I don't know,
I think it's called transition with
Transition,
staffing.
okay, yeah. And now, we're talking 2021. Now, how long, in effect, can these block grants go? And, is there a time sensitive when the money has to be used?
Yes, normally it's an 18 to 24 month period of
Right.
time. The town received 2 extensions for this project, and primarily it was the problems experienced with the housing rehab program and just having to rebid projects. I mean, I think there was a little bit of difficulty. You know, it takes a while, and it's almost trial and error when you put out something to bid and then you're getting much higher costs and you've got to scramble to figure out, okay, where is the problem with this? And so I think it's taken the town staff some time to figure that out.
Yeah, but as time is going on, as you did mention, Don, the economics for all this go up also.
Exactly, yes, yes.
And I think they're going to continue to go up until things are finalized within, the structure of our country.
Right.
As far as tariffing and things are going, so.
Right. So the next time that we apply for funding for housing rehab, I would recommend we increase the per unit costs in the program that we anticipate. And that's, each program kind of feeds in, provides information to the next program, so.
Yeah, and I was happy to hear that you're working with the building commissioner. I think that should have been something that had been done earlier on. It makes a lot of sense to, the more you get the word out, the better it is, and the more people interested in it. So, I don't think I have any more questions about it.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, just really quick, I was trying to keep up with you there, Donna. So you said there's 2 projects that are still open for the housing rehab so
Right,
far?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And how many have been completed?
So we have, there's 3 units, 2, and we'll end up with 6 units
Okay.
rather than the 8 that we had projected,
Okay.
so.
So will that money?
So
Yeah, so we are anticipating, I mean, it's hard to predict, but I'm anticipating using up all of the funds. And whatever, like residual in the housing rehab, at the end of a grant, they always allow you to, as long as it's not more than 10% of the overall grant, so that's a hefty 80,000, so we're not talking about that. But, if there's like 3,000 to 5,000 available, we can direct it toward admin costs or staffing costs as we close everything out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So, no money on the table, left on the table.
That's all I had.
Any comments from the public?
Any future projects?
I'm only talking about what is on our agenda this evening. Hearing none, I'm going to close the public meeting on the FY 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the fiscal 21 Community Development Block Grant Program.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Passed. And we'll move on to new business. The first thing is the review and approved transfer of retail package store alcohol license from Muhammad Asif Abid to Muhammad Azim Ashfaq, located at 223 Columbia Street, Adams, Mass. 711. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer of the retail package store alcohol license from 7-Eleven Incorporated to 223 Columbia LLC with the proposed manager as Muhammad Azim Ashfaq.
I'll second that motion.
Do I hear a vote?
Any discussion?
Any discussion? That's 3, I'm almost out.
You're doing great.
No discussion?
No.
No other questions? No?
Okay.
I'll hear a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So be. Second item.
And thank you very much,
Yes.
Attorney Allen.
Thank you
And good
so
luck.
much.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Our second one is a one-day liquor license application for the American Legion to serve at 160 Forest Park Avenue on July 26, 2025, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the American Legion's annual clam bake. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for the American Legion to serve at 160 Forest Park Ave, which is the American Legion property, on July 26, 2025, 12 noon to 8 p.m. for the annual clam bake.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
I'll just point out that this is a one-day license because the American Legion's club license, their usual license, only covers the premises on the inside of the building, and the clam bake would be held on the outside of the building, and it is why they are asking for the one-day liquor license application.
And I'd like to chime in and say that this has been going on for quite some time and there has been no problems.
And I'll just ask that the application, no issues with that was submitted.
Yep, I got everything.
Fantastic.
Any discussion from the floor? Make a motion to, I'm calling for a vote. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion is passed. Moving on. A one-day liquor license application for the American Legion to serve at 171 Buckland Road on August 30th, 2025 at 2 p.m. for a wedding venue.
I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for the American Legion to serve at 171 Buckland Road on August 30th, 2025. I'm going to say 2 p.m. to, do we have an end time?
There wasn't an
I'm
end
going to
time?
say 9
Probably
p.m.
9 or 10, yeah.
I'm going to say 9 p.m.
Okay.
For a wedding.
And I'll second that motion.
I just have a question on this one. This is the first I've seen something like this since I've been on the board. And can you tell me a little bit about this?
So there is going to be a wedding at this Buckland Road, which is,
Yeah, I know where Buckland Road is, yeah.
so what they're doing is the American Legion's going to go there and serve the alcohol for the wedding for that time frame.
Okay.
Is this a private residence?
Yes.
Okay.
Any discussion from the floor?
Just a note to just let them know that there is an end time.
Definitely will.
Okay. Considering it is a private residential area, I didn't want it to go past 9.
Sounds good to me.
I think it's generous.
We'll have a vote.
All in favor?
Pardon?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
It'll get through pretty soon.
Yeah, I just had one other quick
Oh,
question.
yeah,
Was
sorry.
this okayed by, our
Town
lawyer and
council?
things, this
Yeah.
type of thing?
That I don't know. This
Oh,
came
memo
from,
says it is.
oh, I think I just copied and
Oh,
pasted
okay.
from, that I didn't do. But I'm not
Just
sure
worried
if-
about like liability and that type of thing, but I don't, because this is the first I've kind
Yeah.
of had.
I think they would have to take on their own liability, right?
Yeah, I
It's
think
the
that-
town.
I mean-
know if it has been
Yeah.
taken out.
Is that on the application by any chance?
On the paper we have that Jordan gave us, it says on the very bottom that the town council did review the applications and deemed them to be in order.
That's all I wanted to hear.
I think they did.
If it's on a private residence, that would be the liability of the owner, I would believe.
Correct.
think so,
Which
yeah.
is, she was the one who told me that this would be coming through. So I'm assuming she has all that, and I know that the American Legion has their own, license and things to make sure nothing bad happens.
As long as it's been cleared by legal counsel, I'm fine with it.
I have too many papers right now. Put it in a folder.
Because we do have some time on this date. I'm actually going to withdraw my motion until we can be sure that it has been reviewed by town council, because although the memo says it, I believe I heard differently. And so I'm going to actually withdraw my motion to approve the one-day liquor license. And I would like to see the board table this until our next meeting instead. It is up to the board to decide if that's okay.
So that's July 26th, that gives ample time.
The wedding is
one's-
August 30th.
Okay,
It's 30th, yeah.
okay, I was looking at the one above.
Do I hear a motion to table this and to another time?
I'll make a motion to table at our next regular meeting.
Okay. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I've just asked, to Mr. Novak's point, that legal counsel does let us know that everything's in order, that we also understand that the insurance is in order, and that there is an end time.
Okay, moving on. One-day liquor license application for the Bounty Fair to serve at 27 Park Street, Adams, Mass., Adams Theater, on May 23rd, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for Bounty Fair to serve at 27 Park Street, Adams Theater, on May 23rd, 2025, 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m.
I'll second that motion.
I'm lost on the word again.
Any discussion?
Discussion, yep.
Pardon?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Because-
Hearing none.
Do I hear a vote?
Hearing none, all in favor. You asked about all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just for myself, I got notice about 3 o'clock I had to do this, so I'm a little new.
Okay, and
Get you through it.
So it's passed. Next one is a one-day liquor license for the Bounty Fair at 27 Park Street, Adams, Mass., for the Adams Theater on May 24th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion for the one-day liquor license application, or to approve the one-day liquor license application for Bounty Fair to serve at 27 Park Street, Adams Theater, on May 24th, 2025, 7:30 to 10 p.m.
Any discussion?
Oh, I'm gonna make a second for that
Oh,
one.
sorry.
You're good.
yeah, as Christine mentions, I'd like to have an ending time also on these, and 10:30 was what you suggested? 10? Yeah, I'd like to have ending times for these, because if something does happen after the time allotted, it's not
Well-
good for anyone.
The application is for this week,
Yeah,
Yep.
so we won't be meeting to pass it.
Our motion would supersede
Right.
anything else,
Yep.
so the
The
motion goes to
does have an
10
end time in
PM.
it.
yeah.
Yep. So if it's not on there, we established it.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is the one-day liquor license application for the Bounty Fair to serve at 27 Park Street, Adams, Mass., Adams Theater, on May 30th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. And again, we don't have an end time. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for Bounty Fair to serve at 27 Park Street, Adams Theater, on May 30th, 2025, 7:30 to 10 p.m.
And I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. We're going to move on to ratification of appointment of Carissa Toomey as financial assistant, the third in the office of the Board of Assessors. And would you like to come up and introduce? Good evening.
Doing great, yeah. This is Carissa. Hopefully she will be starting on Tuesday in the Board of Assessors office. I'm looking forward to having some help, and Carissa is currently working for the North Adams Assessor, so she does have experience, which is going to be a bright shining light in my office.
All right. I'm going to read the letter that I have in front of me, and this is, says, as provided in Section 10 of the Town Charter, I hereby recommend your ratification of the appointment of Ms. Carissa Toomey as Administrative Assistant 3 in the Board of Assessors Office. This appointment is to take effect beginning Tuesday, May 27th. Ms. Toomey has over 20 years of successful employment experience, most recently with the City of North Adams Assessor's Office. She holds a BA magna cum laude from Regis College and also a graduate of McCann Technical School. The position is within the clerical bargaining unit of grade 7. Initial compensation will be $23.04 per hour at step 3 of grade 7, rising to $23.50 on July 1st. Thank you for your consideration of this request. Respectfully submitted, Kenneth Walto, our interim town administrator. Do I hear any discussion from the board?
I'll make a motion to ratify the appointment of Carissa Toomey as Financial Assistant 3 in the Office of the Board of Assessors at a Step 3, Grade 7 rate of $23.04 in this fiscal year, and with a Step 3, Grade 7 rate of $23.50 in the next fiscal year.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
No, I think she's well qualified.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
I'd like to add for the board's information that Carissa is a resident of this community.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Ratification of appointment of Adam COA per diem van driver, Andrea Andy Hansen. Hi, Sarah.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to ratify?
Do you want to read the letter?
Oh, I could, first, sure. Ratification of appointment of Andrea Hansen as per diem van driver for the Council on Aging. As provided in Section 10 of the Town Charter, I recommend your ratification of the appointment of Ms. Andrea Hansen as per diem van driver for the Council on Aging in accordance with the attached recommendation of Council on Aging Director Sarah Fontaine. Her duties will commence beginning on about Thursday, May 22nd. Ms. Hansen has completed the town's required pre-employment reference and background checks and will undergo extensive training prior to transporting residents. This is a grade 5 non-union position. Compensation will be $18.46 per hour at step 1. Thank you for consideration of this request. Respectfully submitted, Kenneth Walto, interim town administrator. And would you like to read your letter, or
I think Ken's letter covers everything pretty well.
do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to ratify the appointment of Andy Hansen as the Adam COA per diem van driver at a step 1 rate of $18.46 an hour.
And I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
I have nothing.
Sarah, I'm just curious at how many van drivers we have now and if this puts us...
So this will be our 7th van driver. We have 3 who are, 2 that are out on a medical leave and 1 who is out on a family caregiver leave. So we only have 3 active in rotation right now.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Second. Make a motion for authorization to install a memorial bench and an ADA picnic table at the Adams COA Visitor Center in memory of former Select Board member Arthur Skip Harrington and his mother-in-law Dorothea Donnelly.
Sarah, are you presenting this?
Yes, so oftentimes we receive, I'm sorry, Joe, I can't see you, so I'm going to move over here.
Part of me would like to take a 5-minute recess and move this, but I don't have to converse over here.
Yes. So oftentimes, when someone passes away and they've been an active member of our community at the Council on Aging, we receive memorial donations in their memory. So Skip passed away before my time here. I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but from what I hear, he was a wonderful individual. And so his memorial donations came to the center around the end of 2021. His mother-in-law had lived with he and his wife. Dorothea Donnelly was an Adams resident for several years. Would come to our Council on Aging with Skip's wife and her daughter. And she recently passed away in 2024, and we received memorial donations in her memory. So combined donations, we have a little over $2,300 in memory of both Skip and Dorothea. And Dorothea was in a wheelchair, and we would like to provide a bench, but also an ADA-compliant picnic table that is round, has 3 seats, and then 1 open spot for an individual in a wheelchair. And we would like to place them at the Council on Aging Visitor Center. You should have in your packet, if you don't, I have pictures of where we would like to put them. And I'm open to other suggestions. This just seemed like the most reasonable place to put them.
And this is on the back side of the
The
building.
back side facing the trail, yep. And we're going to be working with Mass Core Industries. It's a department of the Department of Corrections through Massachusetts, through their work program, and they create the materials and deliver them free of charge and at a reduced cost. So should it go over the $2,300, the Council on Aging gift account will cover whatever the difference is. So there's no expense to the town.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I was just wondering, will this be the first memorial bench or table within the grounds of?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of any others that are there. We've done other things in memory of people. We've
Right.
held events and programs in memory of people with the money that's been donated, but as far as like a physical item, this is, to my knowledge, the first. And it came through discussion with Skip's wife and Dorothea's daughter that they both loved the trail, and they, you know, the Council on Aging was a special part of their life. So she wanted to give back to those who utilize the Visitor Center and the Council on Aging and the trail.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to vote for it, but one of my concerns is all of a sudden people will see one there and they'll give $2,300 and they'll say, hey, I'd like to have, you know, a bench and for.
Well, if you saw Corey's presentation, was it
Yeah.
last meeting?
Yeah.
People are looking for more places to sit along the trail, so we would be happy to accommodate.
Okay,
Great answer.
yeah.
It'd be a nice problem to have.
Exactly.
Any further discussion from the floor?
Yeah.
Any questions or the?
Oh, I was just gonna ask here, it is a memorial bench and a table. Is there gonna be a placard on there?
There will be a
at all?
plaque on the bench, which is why we decided to do 2. We were originally just going to do the table, but there's no place to mount a plaque to the table. And there was enough money to cover both the table and the bench. So there will be a nice plaque on the bench. And I'll work with Ms. Donnelly on what we're going to say on that plaque.
Great.
And Mass Core will engrave it and place it, so we don't have to do that.
I think it's a great memorial. It's awesome to see.
And will there be, like, your liability insurance, should there be vandalism or anything like that?
It just covers whatever is already existing
Okay.
in place at the visitor
I'd
center.
hate to see that.
for the
I've seen
benches and-
other
yeah.
benches
Mhm.
in memory of people and, you know, you
Yeah.
get the wrong person coming by and,
It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, we will manage it.
Yep.
I'll say one thing too, I do love how it's ADA compliant as well. I think that was a brilliant move
Yep.
to do it that way, as so many seniors need that access as
And
well.
there's a big push across the state for age and dementia-friendly initiatives throughout municipalities, and this will meet that initiative.
Great.
So through the chair, I do have a question. So what is being asked of the board is not necessarily authorization to spend the funds, because
Placement.
that is your
Correct.
discretion.
Mhm.
It is placement because it is town property.
Correct.
And it is really, with that authorization, to Member Novak's point, it is then putting that equipment on the town's insurance policy. as
Correct.
well.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make sure that I understood, because it is the first time that I have seen the board being asked to authorize.
Right,
a
yes.
memorial.
So yeah, you're not being asked for cost for the items themselves. It's just for placement of them on town property. And then as such, they would be covered under the town's insurance.
Just want to make sure our motion is clear,
Yes.
that it is about placement.
Do I hear a motion to authorize to install the memorial bench and the ADA picnic table at the Adams COA Visitor Center in the memory of Selectman Board Member Arthur Skip Harrington and his mother-in-law Dorothy Donnelly on town property?
I'll make a motion to authorize the installation of a memorial bench and an ADA picnic table on the property of the Adams Council on Aging / Visitor Center, and to be placed in memory of former Select Board member Arthur Skip Harrington and his mother-in-law Dorothea Donnelly, although I'm sure she had a title all of her own, and not just Skip's mother-in-law.
She was actually at one point one of the oldest residents in town. She was over 100 when she passed.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
I'd just like to say one thing on behalf of Skip. I served with Skip when I was in my beginning years as a selectman, and he really fought for this town. And the thing that I can remember vividly is when we went all out to get a lease for the Graylock Glen project, and, you know, that was spearheaded by Skip in a roundabout way, and that was either we were going to win or they weren't going to allow it, and they sided on our side. And I remember Skip, when they made the announcement, he had tears in his eyes. That's how much he really cared about the town.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did. And just for a timeline, once it's approved, then I will order them, and they said probably around September, which is National Senior Center Month, so it will be a wonderful, wonderful event to have.
All
Do
in
I-
favor? I'm
all
all
in
set,
favor?
yeah.
I said it once, but you interrupted. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Thank you very much.
Our next is a letter regarding changes to the town's access at the Memorial Building once sold to the developer, Sarah Fontaine, Director of the COA.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to read a letter that is addressed to the Select Board. I would like to thank the Select Board for the opportunity to speak and advocate on behalf of the older adults in our community, which is the fastest growing demographic in our population. Acting Interim Community Development Director Donna Season met with me back in April to discuss changes to the Council on Aging's access at the Memorial Building based on the developer's needs. At the Community Informational Forum at the COA on Monday, December 2nd, 2000, that should be 24, not 2004. It was presented by Town of Adams representatives to those in attendance that the developer, Michael Mackin, intended to redevelop the classroom wing of the building, as well as parts of the building that would be leased back to the town. This included building ADA-compliant restrooms, installing new windows, and renovating the auditorium and administrative wing. However, in our April meeting, Donna had informed me that the developer is not able to renovate the auditorium or administrative wing. This is extremely concerning to the Council on Aging, our advisory board participants, as the administrative wing is where the COA offices were going to be relocated. I shared with Donna what the Council on Aging's needs are in order to have a safe and successful transfer from the Visitor Center to the Memorial Building, which are ADA-compliant restrooms, no less than 4 designated offices for Council on Aging staff and volunteers due to the sensitive and confidential nature of our day-to-day operations, ample available parking, and a safe and healthy program and work environment for staff, volunteers, COA participants, and the general public, i.e. functioning and sealed windows, asbestos and mold and lead abatements, etc. In reviewing the developers and the COA needs with the COA Advisory Board at our meeting on Monday, May 5th, we would like to have an open discussion with the appropriate representatives before the purchase and sale agreement is finalized with Mr. Mackin and is signed by the Select Board. If the needs of both the developer and the Council on Aging are not able to be met, it may be that the COA is better suited to remain at the Adams Visitor Center despite the limits that we have with the physical space to hold programs. We were happy to trade off smaller office space in the administrative wing of the Memorial Building for multiple larger program space to meet the needs of the growing older adult population. However, we still need appropriate office space for COA staff and volunteers to meet the needs of this population. If it's determined that it is best for the COA to remain at the Visitor Center, one suggestion that has been made multiple times is for the Thunderbolt Ski Museum to be transferred to the new Greylock Glen Outdoor Center, as the Thunderbolt Ski Trail is located there. These are the types of things we hope to discuss with town representatives. Our next advisory board meeting is Monday, June 2nd at 3 p.m. at the Council on Aging. If the approval and signing of the purchase and sale agreement is scheduled to take place before June 2nd, we would be happy to schedule a special meeting of our advisory board or have this COA director and a few advisory board members meet with the appropriate representatives. We feel it's extremely important to clarify some things for the Council on Aging, the town, and Mr. Mackin before the building is officially sold to ensure that everyone's needs are met and that this is a successful project for all parties involved. Thank you, Sarah Fontaine, Director of the Adams Council on Aging.
I recently sat down with Donna Seasons, and we had a great talk, and she did tell me that she is trying to maintain the office space, not the auditorium, that the auditorium will be off the table, and that she is really stressing that we need to have that space. And I was supposed to tell you, and with all the things going on in my life.
Nope, that's okay.
I just.
No, and we really do, we appreciate your advocacy, Donna.
We just, I forgot to tell you. And then I think you might have received a notification that they were going to meet with you earlier.
I probably didn't see the email I sent out late this afternoon, sir.
Oh, no, we had a program
Yeah,
starting at 3.
Which basically said, we'd like to tentatively scheduled for next Wednesday is the review and approval of the development agreements, the several agreements with the developer. So we are suggesting next Tuesday is the best time to meet with you and go over that, either with the whole COA or with a subset of the COA, whatever you choose.
Thank you.
So I hope that, we can answer your questions next Tuesday, and it'll be good for all of us.
All right. Yes, thank you.
And I do apologize for not giving you that information.
No, that's okay. We had a program starting that is very important to us for May, Older Americans Month. So I hadn't been at my desk since before 2:45, so I did not get that.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, through the chair. Sarah, I just want to thank you for going about it this way and coming to the board and speaking with us about it. And thank you on behalf of the COA members that you're being an advocate for them. I know it's a really important but difficult conversation to have and bring up as other projects are going on. So thank you for coming about it this way. And,
thank you.
and letting us hear your concerns and the Council on Aging's concerns as well.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's not that we don't want to move to Memorial, because we desperately need more program space. We just also need appropriate office space. So thank you, I appreciate.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to comment also, this was well-written, and it puts everything out on the table, and that's the kind of thing I like to see.
Yeah. And we absolutely want the purchase and sale to go through with Mr. Mack, and it will be a wonderful project for the town and for the housing crisis that we're experiencing. We just want to make our concerns and our needs to move over there known before. I don't want it to stall the project at all, because as we know, it's been stalled for many months. We need to make sure that everyone involved is aware of the needs of all parties involved.
And I just, my last statement is, I know Mr. Mackin had spoken about, the auditorium would be out of bounds, but I'd love to see that auditorium fixed. It'd be a great place for the elderly to have plays and, and.
Not just
Yeah.
the older adults, but the community in general. But my understanding is the abatements that would be needed
Yeah.
to turn that back into a functioning auditorium is probably beyond the scope of what he's able to do with this project.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last thing is an update on retaining an executive search form for recruitment for a permanent town administrator, and I'm going to turn this over to our interim town administrator.
Okay. Christine and I collaborated on this because, as you know, she was the board's primary person to get this process underway, and with apologies to the Beatles, I'm going to take you on a bit of a magical mystery tour of Massachusetts procurement. What you have in front of you, first, if you have the stapled packet, is a letter that went from me to consultants. Now, this was procured under, I think I mentioned it before, but I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but it's good for everybody to understand it. Under Chapter 30B, which is the General Purchasing Statute, Section 4, you have a project that's going to range between $10,000 and $50,000, you put it out as a request for quotations, and you award it to the person who gives you the lowest quote, provided that person or firm is qualified. So you can see this was an email letter. Now, we're only required by law to request it of 3 firms. It's not a general advertisement. You pick out 3 qualified firms and you request the quotation. We picked out 7 firms, and you can see attached to that letter is a list of 7 qualified firms that we sent it to. And if you go to the next page, 2 pages in, you'll see the quotes. We got 3 quotes. It was a 2-week turnaround time. We did it toward the end of April. The quotes were due on May 12th. And you can see the 3 prices. We got one from Grew White Consulting for $12,400, one from Municipal Resources Incorporated for $15,800, and the final one from Colin Bessinger and Associates for $32,500. My internal guesstimate was about $20,000, so I think we did quite well on the low quote price. Colin Bessinger, I should say, is really a firm that works out of Florida, and they don't know this area. They wanted to get in, they wanted to try to get some business in Massachusetts. You can see they were very, very high. Now, the next piece of information I've given you is their actual proposal. And I had a long checklist of both submission and quality requirements that the proposer had to meet. So we focused on the low quote. There's no sense going and looking at the other quotes unless the low quoter doesn't meet both the submission and quality requirements. And Christine and I sat down last week and we went through the whole checklist and determined that he did indeed substantially meet all of the quality requirements of the request for quotations. What I've included as well is an example of what he does. You can see the brochure they prepared for Carver, and Carver is an Adams-like town, is one of the references that I checked. He actually provided us with 3 of these samples as we asked for. He also did Easton and Fairhaven, and he's in the middle of finalizing a town administrator in Fairhaven. Now, the most important thing that we did was check his background. One of our quality requirements was that we checked at least 5 references and got positive recommendations from all 5 of those references. I actually contacted 7 communities, and 6 out of the 7 got back to me, and they were very, very enthusiastic about the services that Rick White provided. Rick White will be the consultant who works with us, and you can see he was the consultant that worked with all these communities. The communities were extremely satisfied with his work. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the references were either town administrators or town managers. In the case of Chatham, a harbor master and a community development director were hired. So I'd like to just read my note on this kind of summarizes my discussions with all the people that I spoke with. They said, in general, the respondents were all very enthusiastic about the service provided by Mr. White. Also, the consultant made an exceptional effort to know the community, to talk to residents, staff, and town officials in order to create a profile of a good fit for the town. He's easy to work with, accessible, and really goes out to recruit candidates that meet the profile.
Are we supposed to make an approval tonight, or just,
Well, what I would like to suggest to you is we move forward with the contract. And I've already arranged with Mr. White to meet with us via Zoom on the 6th, and we'll kick off the whole process. Now, if you would prefer that meeting on the 6th to be an interview, we can do that. That was one of the quality requirements, but from reviewing both his proposal and particularly the references, I think we should move forward and award the contract and then kick the process off on the 4th of June.
do I hear discussion from the board? And
First of all, I'd like to thank Christine for spearheading this. I just received this. Do you have a biography of this person? His background and everything?
Yes, his resume is in there,
I just
Joe.
picked this up today, so I haven't been able to look at it. Is there something within?
His resume is in there.
Okay.
He was a longtime town manager in Lexington,
Yeah.
worked in several other communities,
Yeah.
and has been consulting now for several years.
Yeah. But
least 10,
when
I
you
think.
first said Carver is similar to Adams, I don't know about,
I mean, in size and kind of the
I
process.
don't know about money though, too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right.
you're right there.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, I know that we couldn't hire a permanent DPW director till 2026. Do we have the funds for a new town administrator? Are the funds available?
There's actually two answers to that question.
Yeah.
First, Ashley did look in our budget, and we have the money to hire this person, so, we can't sign a contract without an appropriation, the dough is there. In the next fiscal year, we've budgeted $125,000 for a new town administrator. One of this consultant's tasks will be to suggest to us what the appropriate salary would be to attract the right person. And that would be up to the town whether they want to, appropriate that amount, should it be more than what's been appropriated. What's being proposed in the budget hasn't been approved yet by town meeting.
So should we have, finally get somebody under our fold as our town administrator or manager, whatever position, name he will be given, so will he automatically become our town DPW director?
He may initially.
Yeah.
Or she.
Or she, thank you.
There's a whole room of women going, or she.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
there are a lot of fine town managers and administrators across the
Yes.
state who are women.
Thank you, ladies. Yes. I heard you. Loudly.
So, I guess that's all I have, and I think we should get the ball rolling. And once again, thanks Christine for her work and your work.
Christine made my life easy by
Yeah.
preparing a lot of the materials.
Yeah, so I think that,
You made mine easy too.
yeah, now it's our time to do our work.
And part of the process would be to set up a screening committee. So typically with the screening, some of you have been through this, you would know what happens, but the screening committee can meet in confidence, can meet in executive session and narrow down the field to a few who would come for public interviews.
Yeah, I have problems with that type of thing. How will a selection committee be chosen? What will the makeup be?
I haven't thought that through yet, but I think under the town code, it's the Board of Selectmen's decision as to who sits on that committee.
Yeah, and a number, and, because you have to have a
Yeah.
good diversity of people with different backgrounds, economically, business-wise, and so on and so forth. And I think that helps make a decision better, at least in my opinion, with a diverse group of people, different ages, different, backgrounds and that type of thing. So it's always a difficult mix to.
I think right now, we should just make a motion to
Okay.
move this forward and go and choose this firm that's the lowest bidder and meet with how he is, and then we can go on to how we are going to do our committees at a further date.
Well, I mean, we're going to be giving the okay to have this person start going right now, and so he's going to be looking for candidates, so I
He's gonna
think
be
we
looking-
should be.
Well, I know, but,
So, if
go
I
ahead.
may,
Yeah.
so Ken had mentioned that there is a meeting scheduled for June 4th
Yeah.
with the consultant, with the Board of Selectmen, and according to the draft schedule and proposal that's in the packet, that would be getting input from the Board of Selectmen, and I think at that time, we would be talking about what we're looking
Yeah.
for, the screening committee, and the process to move forward.
Fair enough.
So I think that would be coming in the next 2 weeks, based on the information that we have seen here. And Ken, if I've misunderstood any of that, you can
No, that's right.
certainly correct me.
And when we interview him and kick off the process, we can say, what do you suggest for the size of a
Right.
screening committee? What types of persons should we have on this committee?
Okay, so he's going to be the point person on numbers, how many we should have, and the makeup and that type of thing. Okay, fair enough.
I just have a couple questions here. Number one, I mean, definitely, they seem extremely qualified, but I just noticed a lot of references were more towards the eastern part of the state and through Cape Cod. Have they done any work out this way
The
before?
only one they had out here was Sandus Field, and I think that was 2018, so I checked the most recent references. Yes, they do a lot of work on the Cape.
Okay, yep, okay. And just the other things, it looks like there's a drafted schedule here, about 13-week timetable for
Yes.
turnaround, from beginning to end. Is that pretty, this is my first time going through this, is that pretty standard? Is that ambitious?
It's ambitious.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we wouldn't have anything within this fiscal year anyway, so we're looking at next year anyway. And then the third, I guess, would just be who signs the contract? Would that be?
Town administrator, what is the chief procurement officer? Because this is just a regular procurement contract.
Okay. All right. And I'd like to thank Christine for her work on there, and Ken, you as well on this project. I'm coming in late to this, so I appreciate all the work you guys have put in. That's all I have.
so do I hear a motion to go forward with the selection of Zero White, or Grow White, however it's pronounced?
I'll make a motion to authorize intern town administrator Ken Walto as our chief procurement officer to enter into a contract with, we decided it was Grew White?
Yeah, Grew White.
Grew White Consulting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Announcement, the next Board of Selectmen's meeting will be on June 4th at 6 PM.
May I just suggest something? I'd like to start having more off meetings, more than just every 2 weeks. I think there's a lot of things that we should be sitting down and getting a jump on before we're deciding things. So in other words, people should have ideas for workshops. I think they're valuable. And it doesn't seem in the last number of years that we didn't have many workshops that I can remember. It was just every 2 weeks we had a meeting, and I think workshops are important because we can get a leg up on things that we know are going to be coming into the future. So I'm going to be asking for some workshops with some topics, and I was hoping that other select board members who have any things that they feel that should be addressed prior to knowing that they're going to happen, come forth with their ideas for workshops.
And as a new member of the board, I reiterate Joe's comments there. The more information, the better.
I'm not mistaken that John mentioned something about trying to get some workshops in.
Yes.
And in past meetings, he's mentioned that we'd like to get some workshops in, so
And
we'll bring it.
I'm all for that. I've heard that before.
I'm all for that also. I think we do need it.
I would just caution us that there is an expense to having additional meetings, expense for staff time. That alters any hours that we have with Ken right now, as we are limited in the number of hours that Ken can be with us. It also increases the number of minutes that we need to post in the amount of time that we have to do. And quite honestly, I'm not sure personally I'm able to commit to every Wednesday at this point, given what's going on in my life. So I'm happy to support it if they're warranted. I'm just not sure we need to go back to meeting weekly.
No, I feel that we can discuss it and we can work some stuff out, but I do believe we have to discuss more in the open what is going on around us. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.